What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Alright, so we're going to talk some more about Billy Break's top 4 Inzektors from YCS Chicago. The Son Enigma said that I was dick riding, and he said that he didn't understand why, he was playing Safe Zone in Inzektors and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. Okay, first off, why do I do these videos? Because, let's see. Well, Konami doesn't release the top 32 deck list. Hell, they still haven't even released the ones from YCS Long Beach. And yes, these videos have been successful on my channel, Mike Balan's Dark World deck from Long Beach. Currently, it almost has 16,000 views. And when you have success, you don't want to diminish it. You want to sustain it. So, of course, I'm going to keep doing videos. Now, I would not be doing due diligence if I just showed you guys a deck list and I said, half at it, motherfuckers. Go ahead and net deck to your heart's content. But because I have a lot of intermediate and beginning players who might not understand the advanced strategies and tactics and understand why certain cards work in tandem and why they work well with each other. So I feel like if I can explain it, then I'm doing the deck justice, and maybe if you're going to play it, you can do it justice by, winning those games and using the deck to its full potential. Let's start with Inzektors before I get on Safe Zone and Heart of Clearwater. Alright, Inzektors are the top dog of the format as far as offense goes. We're just going to focus on offense right now. Offensively, this deck is unmatched. And I say that because I take two different categories when I think about offense, and Inzektors, when I compare them to other decks, they come up on top in both different categories. When I think of just being able to spot on remove things, how can this deck answer the cards on your opponent's board? And Inzektors is the best deck of the format at doing that. When Inzektors really gets rolling, it can remove anywhere from 3 to 5 cards on your opponent's board if you have, things like a Leviair play where you get like a Dragonfly back. No other deck can do that on a consistent level. There's a reason why many times if your opponent gets a Leviair, gets a Dragonfly off, a lot of times people will just scoop because there isn't much that you can do. You're at their mercy, and your field basically becomes their playground. When I look at the deck from an OTK standpoint, again, it's the best deck of the format offensively, because this deck doesn't need for your opponent to invest anything on the field, which initially a lot of players thought that's how you beat Inzektors, by not investing anything. Oh wait, now they just play Excalibur and they can have Dragonfly, Hornet, and Excalibur, and they don't need for you to have anything on the board. They can put anywhere from 8,200 to 9,000 without you committing a single card on the board and just winning. Now that we've established that Inzektors are the most offensively potent deck of the format, why wouldn't you want to run support cards that help adhere to your win condition and help complement your offensive arsenal? Cards like Call of the Haunted, Safe Zone, Forbidden Lance. There's a reason that Forbidden Lance had been trending in Inzektors over the past couple of weeks, and why Billy Break used a card like Safe Zone. Because they serve the purpose of limiting your opponent's options to your offense. Let's say your opponent has a very big pool of cards that can stop a Dragonfly from being able to butt rape your field. Well, what Safe Zone and Forbidden Lance does is it limits those options to a very small number of cards that now stops you from butt raping their field. If you summon something like Centipede and your opponent has a Torrential Tribute or a Bottomless Trap Hole set, and they activate that Torrential or that Bottomless, well, if you chain Forbidden Lance or Safe Zone, well, guess what? Now their Bottomless or their TT now fizzles. You have your monster on the field, and chances are now you can be able to just wreck their field and win the game very easily. What a card like Call of the Haunted does is it kind of serves the same purpose, just in a different way. It allows you to take that Torrential Tribute or that Solemn Warning, but it gives you a second shot at the attempt to basically go nuts on their field. Another thing about Safe Zone and why you wouldn't run around a garbage card like Heart of Clearwater is it's a protection card. You don't want to ever run protection cards in spell form because they cannot be used on your opponent's turn, which means A, they're not chainable, B, they don't answer the threats that your opponent puts in front of them. Now guys, don't let the fact that Heart of Clearwater and Safe Zone have similar wording lead you to believe that the cards are actually similar themselves, because there are a vast amount of differences and the cards don't even compare with each other. Let's say, for instance, you summon Inzektor Gigamantis via Dragonfly's effect, or you summon Blackluster Soldier and you attack. Well, if your opponent activates Mirror Force, you're kind of fucked if you have Heart of Clearwater. The difference is if you have something like Safe Zone, you can effectively protect your monster and continue to push their shit in. Let's say your opponent summons something like Dark Arm Dragon or Lila, and they target your face down Safe Zone. Well, you can chain that, target that monster, and it's now destroyed. Can't do that with Heart of Clearwater. And lastly, if your opponent would try and direct attack for game, then you could use something like Safe Zone, chain to that monster they're attacking with, and guess what? They're not able to directly attack you anymore, because this card reads when monsters are equipped with Safe Zone, they cannot attack the opponent directly. So what did we learn from this video? A, I'm just complimenting Billy Break on some of his key tech choices. B, I'm not going to stop making the videos because not only are they informative, but Konami doesn't release these videos anymore. C, offensively, this deck is unchallenged, and you should do what your deck does best. Run cards that support your win condition and your savvy. You know, run cards like Safe Zone, Forbidden Lance, Trap Stun, Royal to Creep, Underworld 6667. What? If your deck is a duck, let it quack and let it swim. Don't give it a fucking taser and tell it to be a cop. Thank you for watching as always, and have a nice night.